In a world dominated by shiny apples and spotless bananas, there are fruits that once were treasures on our tables, and today have almost disappeared. Did you know there was a plum so sweet that emperors reserved it just for themselves? Or a fruit that smells like freshly baked cake but that almost no one recognizes today? Get ready to discover 20 extraordinary, rare fruits full of history, flavor, and color. Fruits that time, industry, and forgetfulness have been erasing from our plates. Did you know them? Do they still exist in your region? Let's rediscover them. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now, let's get started. Number 20. Maypop, the taste of summer. Imagine a fruit that carries in its flavor the perfect fusion between the sweet freshness of guavaroba and the vibrant citrus touch of tangerine. This is the essence of Maypop, a botanical treasure native to North America. Its lush vines gracefully climb fences, pergolas, and trellises, forming true green carpets that elegantly decorate gardens. It's no wonder that during summer, these plants bloom with delicate flowers in shades of violet and white, looking like an artist's masterpiece, each petal carefully designed to attract pollinators and enchant human eyes. Maypop is a fruit of the species Passiflora incarnata, belonging to the passionflower family, the same as the famous tropical passion fruits. But unlike its more common relatives, Maypop has a unique flavor, more subtle and complex, enchanting those lucky enough to try it. The jelly-like, juicy pulp contains a combination of tropical sweetness with a slight citrus hint, almost like a bottled gift of summer, perfect for refreshing on the hottest days. Colonists settling in the southern United States quickly discovered the fruit's qualities. For them, Maypop was not just a delicious fruit, but a versatile ingredient in home cooking. They made jams and preserves to save the fresh flavor for colder months, as well as refreshing desserts and even fermented beverages. Its versatility extended to medicinal uses as well, with parts of the plant employed to calm nerves, treat insomnia, and relieve pain, a true medicinal herb with a double function. However, over time, and with the rise of standardized commercial fruits, Maypop gradually disappeared from conventional markets. Its delicacy and difficulty to cultivate on an industrial scale made it forgotten, relegated to the corners of traditional gardens. But in recent decades, thanks to the rediscovery of local organic foods with intense flavors, Maypop is making a comeback. Dedicated gardeners have brought this plant back to their gardens and backyards, while innovative chefs use it to create unique dishes, taking advantage of its exotic flavor and unmistakable aroma. Moreover, the plant itself is a visual spectacle. Its green-veined leaves, delicate flowers, and rounded fruits which turn yellow and translucent when ripe invite anyone to get closer to nature. Growing Maypop is also a way to preserve local biodiversity, encouraging the spread of native plants that support pollinating insects and regional wildlife. In cuisine, Maypop can be used in countless ways: fresh juices, mousses, ice creams, cocktails, dessert sauces, and even preserves. Its unique flavor offers a sensory experience that transcends taste, bringing nostalgic memories and a summer taste that seems eternal. For all these reasons, Maypop is much more than a fruit. It's a piece of the natural and cultural history of North America, a forgotten treasure that today delights gardens, kitchens, and hearts, showing that the flavors of the past still have much to offer us. Number 19. Nanking Cherry, the Garden Ruby. There was a time when fruits grown in gardens were not only tasty, but also full of personality, resilience, and identity. The Nanking cherry, Prunus tomentosa, known as the forgotten garden ruby, is one of those fruits carrying an aura of nostalgia and authenticity. Small clusters of bright red fruits, like tiny jewels, stand out among the leaves and offer an explosion of unique flavor, perfectly balancing sweetness with refreshing acidity, resulting in a complex and unforgettable palate. Nanking cherry was much appreciated by pioneering gardeners worldwide, not only for its delicious fruit, but also for its robustness and adaptability. With its compact size, it fits perfectly in small home orchards as well as large commercial farms. Its hardiness allowed it to survive harsh climates, varied soils, and pests, becoming a reliable plant for those seeking productivity with less care. Traditionally, this cherry was highly valued for making homemade jams, wines, and artisanal preserves methods that preserved its intense flavor and unmistakable unmistakable aroma. Before the massification of modern agriculture, the taste of fruits was very different from what we find in today's markets. Nanking cherry had an intensity and freshness now almost lost in commercial varieties. Each bite brought a perfect balance of sweet and sour that delighted the palate. However, the advance of industrial agriculture and preference for larger, sweeter, and more uniform fruits gradually pushed Nanking cherry aside. With the arrival of large supermarket chains and globalized trade, it lost space, becoming an almost forgotten fruit relegated to small gardens and traditional orchards. In recent years, though, there has been a growing movement to rediscover heirloom fruits, old varieties carrying stories, flavors, and traditions. And Nanking cherry is re-emerging as a star of this revival. Today, horticulturists, chefs, and nature lovers value its ornamental beauty, its ability to attract pollinators, and, of course, its unique flavor. Besides its culinary value, Nanking cherry is also appreciated for its resistance to common diseases, making it a sustainable option for organic gardens and permaculture. The delicate and abundant flowers that bloom in spring attract bees and other beneficial insects, helping maintain the garden's ecological balance. Its fruiting usually occurs at the end of summer, when small fruits mature into bright, almost translucent red berries, resembling little rubies hanging from branches. This attractive visual also makes Nanking cherry popular as an ornamental plant, adding aesthetic value to green spaces. In modern kitchens, Nanking cherry is used to make gourmet jams, artisanal wines, cakes, and sophisticated desserts, and is also eaten fresh by those seeking authentic, less industrialized flavors. Its aroma and texture invite more people to appreciate natural fruits without intermediaries, reconnecting with the land and the history of their ancestors. Therefore, Nanking cherry is much more than a forgotten fruit. It's a symbol of resilience, authentic flavor, and connection to past traditions, continuing to delight gardens and palates today, promising a future full of tasty discoveries and stories to tell. Number 18, Chay, the silent sweetness of the past. Few fruits whisper history like Chay. Its creamy pulp and gentle flavor, somewhere between fig and blackberry, have won generations of gardeners who valued simplicity and resilience. Cultivated in family orchards, it was commonly enjoyed fresh or dried, celebrated in communities where homemade was treasured. Today, in times of identical, soulless fruits, a few guardians of flavor continue to cultivate it, preserving this direct link to the past. Chay calls for attention and seduces like a well-kept secret. Number 17, Loquat, the sun in fruit form. Ask your grandparents about the loquat and they'll smile. Also known as Japanese plum, this golden fruit with soft skin and juicy flesh reigned for generations in warm climate gardens. It was eaten fresh, turned into jams, or cooked into fragrant, flavorful preserves. When it bloomed, it perfumed the whole environment and marked the start of a lively harvest. Although it's hard to find in supermarkets today, many cooks and gardeners are rediscovering its charm. Loquat not only feeds, but connects with memory. Number 16, Jujube, the medicinal fruit. Also known as red date or Chinese jujube, the jujube is much more than a fruit. It's a time capsule full of culture, health, and sweetness. With a crunchy texture when bitten, like a small apple with an oriental soul, it was for centuries an essential tree in backyard orchards. But the magic happens when dried. It becomes a chewy, sweet snack like a date. Perfect for infusions, desserts, and traditional medicines in Asia, the jujube symbolizes longevity, fortune, and vitality. It was used in remedies to calm the spirit and strengthen the body. Now, as it returns to modern tables, it reminds us that some flavors have waited centuries to be rediscovered. Number 15, Aronia, the fruit that shouts intensity. With a color that almost borders on black and a taste intensely acidic and astringent, Aronia, also called chokeberry, is not for weak palates. For generations, it was the sustenance of foragers, herbalists, and gatherers who knew how to recognize power in the small. Rich in antioxidants and medicinal compounds, it was used to strengthen the immune system and prepare syrups, wines, and preserves. Yes, it's acidic and requires creativity to balance it with other fruits or natural sweeteners, but that makes it a star for those seeking health and flavor with personality. Today, conscious food lovers are rediscovering it, returning it to its place among nature's most powerful fruits.
Number 14, Serviceberry, the fruit of time. Also called the service tree, the serviceberry doesn't win you over on the first bite. Its firm and acidic pulp, similar to an apple, needs time and warmth to reveal its true flavor. When cooked, it becomes a complex and aromatic ingredient, ideal for autumn stews, savory sauces, or pies that remind one of forest flavors. In old orchards, the serviceberry marked the end of the harvest and the beginning of winter. Its fruits gained sweetness over time, as if they needed to think before giving themselves up. It was valuable for its durability, useful for storing when fresh produce was scarce. Although nearly vanished, some cooks and horticulturists are bringing it back, rediscovering the flavor of patience.
Number 13. Buffalo Berry, Shepherdia argentea. The buffalo berry, also known as silver buffalo berry, Shepherdia argentea, is a remarkably hardy plant that spread freely across the vast and arid North American plains. This species was an essential part of native flora, adapted to dry soils, nutrient-poor ground, and often harsh climate conditions of the Great Plains region, spanning from south-central Canada to Texas in the United States. The presence of buffalo berry in these lands symbolizes nature's ability to thrive even where everything seems difficult. For the native peoples who inhabited these lands for thousands of years, buffalo berry was not just another plant, it was a vital source of food, health, and even spirituality. The small scarlet fruits, shining like tiny jewels, were carefully harvested in late summer and early autumn. Their flavor, a striking combination of sweetness and acidity with a subtle herbal note, provided a natural and nutritious refreshment. More than that, they were used to make homemade jellies, preserves, and syrups that served both to nourish the body and strengthen the immune system during the long, harsh winters of the region. The high vitamin C and antioxidant content in buffalo berry made it a medicinal species for various indigenous tribes. The fruit and its leaves were used in treatments against colds, flu, and inflammation, showing that the relationship between native peoples and flora was a deep connection integrating practical knowledge, spirituality, and respect for the land. With the arrival of European settlers, buffalo berry continued to feed communities but began to be overshadowed by the intensive cultivation of more traditional and commercially viable crops like apples, peaches, and grapes. The industrialization of agriculture and preference for larger, sweeter fruits put buffalo berry at risk of disappearing from conventional markets, reducing its presence to small gardens, nature reserves, and organic farmer collectives. Today, amid a growing appreciation for native, organic, and sustainable foods, buffalo berry has been experiencing a renaissance. Conscious farmers and innovative chefs have explored its authentic flavor and versatility, reusing ancestral traditions to reinvent dishes, jams, and drinks that celebrate the spirit of the Great Plains. Beyond its flavor, the plant is valued for its hardiness and low environmental impact, as it requires neither large amounts of water nor agricultural chemicals, allowing it to be grown naturally and sustainably. Besides its gastronomic and medicinal aspects, buffalo berry plays a fundamental ecological role. Its flowers attract a variety of pollinators, including native bees and butterflies, while its fruits feed birds and small mammals, contributing to regional biodiversity. In many environmental restoration projects, buffalo berry is used to recover degraded areas, helping stabilize soil and create green corridors. Symbolically, buffalo berry represents strength, resilience, and connection to the land essential characteristics for communities that survive in challenging environments. Its wild and unique flavor invites rediscovery of the past, honoring traditional cultures, and embracing the future of sustainable agriculture. Number 12. Sand plum, the fruit of heat. In sandy soils scorched by the relentless sun of the southern United States and parts of Mexico, blooms a small, modest fruit full of character, the sand plum, Prunus angustifolia, also known as Chickasaw plum. This species evolved to survive extreme heat, poor soil, and little water, a true treasure of the hot earth, a testament to life's tenacity in challenging environments. Over generations, this small fruit became a fundamental element in rural life. Its acidic and refreshing flavor, bringing a vibrant explosion to the palate, earned its place in traditional recipes for jams, preserves, sauces, and even savory dishes, where its wild touch balanced strong and intense flavors. More than food, the sand plum was a bridge between communities, bringing together families and neighbors in harvest rituals, celebrations, and sharing. In local culture, especially among peoples who inhabited these regions before colonizers arrived, the sand plum symbolized resistance, renewal, and community. Its harvest represented the arrival of times of of abundance, and rituals around the harvest were moments of connection to the land, respect for seasons, and strengthening social bonds. It was common for the harvest to be done collectively, with fruits shared in festivals celebrating simple life and collective effort. The plant's robustness and adaptation to harsh conditions made it a symbol of hope for farmers and rural communities, especially in times of drought and economic hardship. It thrived where other plants failed, serving as a reliable source of food and income. However, with the advance of industrial agriculture, which prioritized more profitable and easier to manage crops, sand plum was gradually sidelined, nearly disappearing from shelves and menus. Recently, movements valuing sustainable agriculture, biodiversity, and regional foods have brought the sand plum back to the scene. Traditional farmers and young organic producers have rediscovered its potential, celebrating its robustness, distinctive flavor, and natural pest resistance. Besides its culinary use, the plant is recognized for its ecological qualities, helping stabilize sandy soils and providing habitat for pollinators and small native species. The sand plum also attracts attention for its discreet beauty. Small white flowers appear in spring, and its fruits mature into berries, ranging from yellow to deep red, creating a rustic and vibrant spectacle amid the aridity. Cultivating this fruit is a gesture of connection to the land and history, an invitation to value what nature offers without great intervention. In contemporary cuisine, chefs use sand plum to create sauces accompanying meats, artisanal jams pairing with local cheeses, and even innovative drinks that highlight its unique and refreshing flavor. Every bite of this fruit is a reminder of nature's vigor and the wisdom contained in foods that have survived through time. Thus, the sand plum, the treasure of the hot earth, is not just a resilient fruit, it is a living symbol of adaptability, the cultural richness of rural communities, and the beauty that emerges when nature and humans find balance, even in the toughest places. Number 11. Elderberry, the elixir of autumn. Remember those homemade syrups your grandparents swore could ward off any cold? They were very likely made from elderberries. These small, dark, almost magical berries were not only delicious in jams and wines, but also a natural shield against illness. They grew freely in gardens and along fences, symbolizing the generosity of the earth. Although modern agriculture has left this fruit aside for being less profitable, today it resurfaces strongly thanks to the interest in natural and ancestral remedies. Elderberry not only nourishes, but reconnects us with a wisdom we should never have forgotten. Number 10. Crataegus estivalis, the ruby of the south. In the swamps of the southern United States, when spring awakens, an ephemeral miracle occurs. The Mayoo is born, small red berries as acidic as they are charming, which can only be harvested for a few weeks each year. Entire families ventured at dawn into the swamps to collect them, transforming them into bright jams and refreshing drinks. This brevity only increased their value. They were natural jewels that announced the beginning of abundance. Today, thanks to passionate gardeners, Mayoo shines again in the kitchen as a symbol of fleeting flavor that deserves to be celebrated. Number 9. Currants, the old world's acidic pearls. Red, black, or white, currants were stars of European gardens for centuries. Small but with a powerful flavor, they added a tangy and fruity touch to jams, pies, sauces, and even savory dishes. Their richness in vitamin C made them valuable in winter when fresh produce was scarce. They grew easily along fences and orchards, and although replaced by more uniform fruits, they now return triumphantly thanks to artisanal cooks and traditional gardeners. Rediscovering them is like opening an old recipe book where each fruit tells its own story. Number 8. Wild apple, the little thunder of the orchard. Remember those small, tart apples you picked straight from the tree that made you scrunch your face but smile at the same time? That was the American wild apple, or crab apple. It grew wild among fences and family farms, where its vibrant acidity and high natural pectin content made it the queen of homemade jams, sauces, and autumn ciders. It was not just a fruit, but a symbol of self-sufficiency, of cool autumn afternoons filled with the aroma of rustic kitchens. Today, although sidelined by sweeter and more uniform varieties, it is being reclaimed by gardeners and chefs who appreciate its authentic character and unfiltered flavor. Number 7. Blackberry, the sweet hanging from the tree. Imagine a tree so generous that its branches bend under the weight of hundreds of juicy black or red blackberries that shine under the sunlight like little jewels. The blackberry, a fruit of the countryside, is a classic presence in rural home yards, hedgerows, and paths cutting through villages. It's a simple fruit, but loaded with memories, stories, and meanings for those who grew up among the green trees and the smell of wet earth. This small, round fruit offers a flavor both sweet and slightly tart, a combination reminiscent of fresh jam mixed with a touch of lemon, perfect for those who enjoy balanced flavors. That's why the blackberry is the star of homemade pies. Preserves that keep for winter, refreshing juices, and even artisanal liqueurs made by families in their backyards. Its flavor recalls sunny afternoons, children's laughter running among the trees, and informal gatherings of neighbors who harvest together what nature offers best. But the blackberry story goes beyond its sweetness and culinary uses. For centuries, its leaves played a fundamental role in feeding silkworms. These small insects feed exclusively on mulberry leaves, and the natural silk industry, with millennia-old roots especially in Asia, flourished thanks to this delicate partnership between the mulberry and the silkworm, contributing to the economic and cultural development of many world regions. Additionally, the blackberry is an ecologically important plant. Its fruits are vital food for birds, small mammals, and insects, helping maintain the balance of local ecosystems. Birds, by eating blackberries, disperse their seeds over wide areas, ensuring the species' perpetuation and the natural reforestation of degraded areas. Blackberries also attract pollinators such as bees and butterflies, essential for the health of crops and gardens. With the advance of industrial agriculture and fruit standardization in the market, blackberries were sidelined in many contexts, replaced by larger, sweeter varieties that better withstand transport. However, in recent decades, with the growth of the organic, local, and traditional food movement, the blackberry is reborn as a symbol of nature's generosity and authentic flavor, especially valued by those seeking to recover old tastes and grow their own food. Moreover, recent studies point out that blackberries are rich in antioxidants, vitamins C and K, fibers, and other nutrients beneficial to health, reinforcing their role as a functional fruit. Researchers explore their potential to improve cardiovascular health, immune system function, and even anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. In summary, the blackberry is not just a simple and tasty fruit, but a living link between history, culture, nature, and health. It is a sweet hanging from the tree, a gift that spans generations and continues to delight palates and hearts worldwide. Number 6. American Persimmon, flavor of the cold. If autumn had a flavor, it would certainly be that of the American persimmon, a fruit also known in the southern United States as sugar plum, Diospyros virginiana. Its sweet taste, with notes reminiscent of honey and caramel, combined with a soft, silky texture, turns the persimmon harvest into a true ritual eagerly awaited. It is the first sign that the cycle of seasons is changing, and that the comfort of autumn and winter recipes is about to arrive. The American persimmon is a fruit that carries a rich culinary tradition, from hot puddings and pies made on wood stoves to homemade jams accompanying toasts on cold mornings. This fruit can transform any kitchen into a cozy refuge filled with comforting aromas, evoking family memories in simpler times. Its sweet and aromatic flavor pairs perfectly with autumn spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove, enhancing the feeling of warmth and comfort. Beyond the culinary aspect, the American persimmon holds a deep and meaningful history among North American indigenous peoples. Tribes valued this fruit not only for its flavor, but also for its medicinal properties. The persimmon was consumed fresh or dried and used to treat digestive problems, fevers, and other conditions. Its high fiber content, vitamins A and C, and antioxidants were recognized as a natural health booster. During European colonization, the American persimmon was adopted by rural communities that found in the fruit a valuable food source for the end of the year, especially in regions where other fruits did not grow well. Its cultivation spread across backyards and small farms, becoming a symbol of the seasons and a marker of the agricultural cycle. Although partly overshadowed by the Asian persimmon, Diospyros kaki, larger and more popular in global markets, the American variety maintains its charm and importance for local farmers and consumers seeking authentic and traditional flavors. Ecologically, the American persimmon is a hardy plant that adapts well to various soils and tolerates drought periods, making it valuable for sustainable agriculture projects and land recovery. Its Its flowers attract essential pollinators, and its fruits serve as food for various bird and mammal species, strengthening local biodiversity. More recently, the interest in regenerative agriculture and the cultivation of native varieties has brought the American persimmon back into focus. Small farmers have invested in persimmon cultivation, promoting organic and agroforestry techniques, valuing its cultural and environmental importance. In contemporary gastronomy, the American persimmon begins to appear on menus of chefs, exploring regional and seasonal ingredients to create dishes that honor local traditions with a modern touch, from meat sauces to sophisticated desserts and drinks, capturing its sweet flavor and unmistakable aroma. In short, the American persimmon is not just the sweet that announces the cold. It is a symbol of autumn, memory, health, and a deep connection with the land and the seasons. Its flavor invites us to slow down, savor the moment, and celebrate nature's transformations. Number 5. Gooseberry Ribbies uva crispa. The forgotten acidic jewel of the old recipe book. Small, round, and covered in fine hairs, the gooseberry looks harmless until you taste it. Its bright, almost electric tartness brought life to jams, pies, and sauces in old households. Picking it was almost a family ritual, each fruit a little gem that required patience and gloves. Although it fell into modern obscurity, today it shines again in the kitchens of creative chefs and defenders of authentic flavor. It's proof that in acidity there is also tenderness. Number 4. European Meddler, a fruit to love. Imagine a fruit so cherished in medieval Europe that it appeared at royal banquets, but was so peculiar it needed to rot before becoming edible. That is the European Meddler, a living relic of old world orchards. When left to fully ripen a process called bledding, its pulp transforms into a smooth cream with a flavor between applesauce and date. For centuries, it was a winter delicacy, enjoyed both fresh and cooked in jams, preserves, and comforting desserts. Having Meddlers in the pantry was a sign of tradition and patience, in a time when what the earth offered was conserved with care. Today, as its sweetness is revived among fruit heritage enthusiasts, we prepare for a sunnier flavor typical of the early summer days. Number 3. Amelanchier or Saskatoon, Amelanchier alnifolia, the sweet kiss of early summer. When summer has just begun, there is a fruit that celebrates it before all others, the jumberry, also known as Saskatoon or Amelanchier. This small, juicy fruit was the protagonist of the season's first pies and jams. Its flavor resembles homemade jam with a sweet blueberry touch. Harvesting it was a family ritual with cool mornings, soft sun, and baskets full of fruits rich in antioxidants and vitamins. They not only delighted the palate, but also functioned as natural medicine and a symbol of seasonal joy. Number 2. Quints, the golden jewel of autumn. Few fruits capture the spirit of autumn as well as the quints, a true golden jewel that colors gardens and yards with its intoxicating aroma and elegant presence. The quince is not just a fruit, it's a sensory experience that awakens memories, brings comfort, and invites a celebration of the harvest season. Originating from Western Asia, scientifically known as Cydonia oblonga, it has a history dating back thousands of years. Cultivated since antiquity, it was especially valued in civilizations like the Greek, Roman, and Persian, where it was considered a fruit of great importance for both food and rituals. In Greek mythology, the quince was associated with love and fertility, often present in feasts and marriage ceremonies as a symbol of abundance and prosperity. Its unmistakable round shape, with a yellow surface that shines like gold under the autumn sun, made the quince a fruit that enchanted the eyes even before being tasted. But its aroma is what truly dominates the environment, an intense, floral, and slightly citrus fragrance that fills gardens when the fruit ripens, announcing the end of summer and the start of the year's most introspective time. Unlike fresher, more common fruits, the quince is known for its firm pulp, which when raw is hard, acidic, and even astringent, making it less popular for fresh eating. However, this characteristic is what makes it special in traditional and historical cooking. In medieval Europe, for example, quince was the star in preparations that transformed its resistant pulp into precious sweets and refined dishes. The most famous of these is quince paste, a kind of solid jam slowly cooked until it acquires an intense amber color and a sliceable texture. This sweet was eaten as dessert, used with cheeses, or even gifted as a rare delicacy at noble tables. Quint's paste could be stored for months, being one of the few ways to preserve flavors and nutrients in pre-industrial times. Besides Quint's paste, jams, preserves, and marmalades made from the fruit found their place on stoves and pantries, flavored with spices like cinnamon, clove, and vanilla, creating a profusion of flavors that warmed cold autumn and winter days. In Mediterranean and Middle Eastern cuisines, quince was also used in delicately seasoned stews, perfectly combining with meats and vegetables to create complex and inviting dishes. However, quince was not just food, it was a symbol. Its presence in fruit baskets and festive table decorations carried a message of abundance, health, and protection against winter hardships. In popular culture, quince also entered legends and superstitions, associated with luck and prosperity. Some believed having quinces at home attracted good energies and warded off evil. With the advance of modern agriculture and the predominance of sweeter, juicier, and easier to eat fruits, quince was forgotten in many regions, seen as an old, difficult to prepare fruit, impractical for daily consumption. But in recent years, a movement to rediscover traditional ingredients and value local products has brought quince back into the spotlight. Today, renowned chefs and sustainable cooking enthusiasts experiment with quince in contemporary recipes, from ice creams and sophisticated desserts to fermented drinks and aromatic cocktails. The firm texture of quince allows creating thick sauces and pie fillings that balance acidity and sweetness harmoniously. Also, its pulp rich in fibers and antioxidants is valued for nutritional properties, reinforcing interest in its cultivation and consumption. Botanically, quince is a hardy tree that adapts well to different temperate climates, blooming exuberantly in spring and fruiting in autumn. Its delicate and fragrant flowers attract bees and other pollinators, contributing to local ecosystem health. Cultivating quinces is also an act of biodiversity preservation, as these trees are less common in current agricultural landscapes and help maintain important genetic varieties. Moreover, quince plays an important role in environmental balance, as its ripe fruits serve as food for birds and small mammals, integrating perfectly into nature's cycle. Growing quinces in small family orchards or community gardens rescues ancestral traditions and promotes contact with the land, bringing emotional and social benefits. Thus, the quince, the golden jewel of autumn, is much more than a rare and aromatic fruit. It is a symbol of a time of year when nature slows down and invites reflection, celebration of life cycles, and appreciation of authentic flavors that carry histories, cultures, and memories. Number 1. Asimina triloba, tropical fruit at home. What would happen if in your own garden a fruit grew with the flavor of banana, mango, and pudding all at once? This marvel exists and is called pawpaw, also known as Kentucky banana or custard apple. It was America's best kept secret for centuries. With a creamy texture and tropical flavor, indigenous peoples and early settlers enjoyed it fresh, in ice creams, puddings, or even cakes. Each harvest was a small celebration. Its brief appearance marked a sweet and unrepeatable moment. Today, although absent from supermarkets, pawpaw lives a renaissance among chefs and gardeners who value the authentic. Rediscovering it is returning to a slower, sweeter time, more connected with what grows close to home. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out some other interesting videos that are showing up on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next one. See you next time.